Hey, hey. Yeah, man. In Jamaica, doing the reggae dance. Everybody clap your hands now.
Just remember that I'll never sound like that ever. I'll never be singing like that at all. I won't be that guy. Be a star in your eye.
One love,
Alright, we're back.
one heart. Let's get together.
Hold on a second. Wait,
and
wait.
feel alright.
What? Who sings that song?
Are you serious, dude?
No.
One
Who sings that song?
Let's get together.
I mean, which one is it though? I know there's a few of them. Which one is it? Who sings that song?
It's the man.
Which
It's
one?
the man himself.
Who?
The father of all.
Because I know
The
there's
man
a lot
himself.
of. Which one?
The Bob Marley.
Oh, he
The
sings
main
that.
guy,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, can
The
you do us a
father.
favor? Can we do a favor? Can we keep it that way?
Well, yeah.
Ah,
Is that what this was leading up
that's what that was leading up to. You know it. You know it.
to? One love.
Oh, can we? Yeah. I was serious about the request, by the way.
That wasn't me. That was my imaginary.
Your imaginary,
Yeah.
scrotum punch. Is that what? That was.
Yeah,
good.
The one from you.
That's good. So, hey, we forgot to welcome everybody, even though we had a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just in case anybody's tuning in, welcome for the first time. And it won't be the only time. It'll be many times after this. And if you have seen this for the first time, then you need to go back in time and watch the previous ones, because that's always a riot. The not so quiet riot, but it's excellent. And I'm your
It's only
host.
getting bigger.
I'm one of your hosts here. My name is David Scarpetta. Okay, it's better with Scarpetta.
Boom.
And just
You
so
got
you
your
know,
neon sign right there.
yes, and sign. I don't know where it is, but it's here somewhere.
Yeah, it's like
is it
we're
over
in
there?
Vegas
is it over
right
there?
now.
Is it
Yeah,
over there?
you got it.
Is
You got it.
that way.
Stop showing your guns off.
I'm
there.
trying to do that. I'm just trying to point in the right
Is
direction.
this a gun show or?
Yeah, it's always
It's
life is
a
a
fucking
show.
BB show.
This
right
is
here.
life is a show,
It's a fucking BB gun show.
and this is
You want to see some real guns?
hack 'em, sack 'em, hack 'em, sack 'em.
No big deal. Yeah, the pool is
no,
over there.
Pool's over there.
Ladies.
Speaking of the pool, you know,
Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
there's a pool of chocolate and roses and everything all over these stores. Every time I walk in, there's all kinds of red shit and pink shit on. So happy Valentine's
Happy
Day,
Valentine's Day.
to everybody.
Every day should be
to
a day about
you,
love,
your
because we should
kids,
love each other.
to your pets. You should be getting your Valentine's Day gift to your pet. And you know what? I do want to say something. I want to say something. This is really serious. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a little bit of a joker, but there's a really big problem, and and there's something to address. And I want to talk about, like, you know, obviously Valentine's Day is a really big deal. You know, with some people, it's like, hey, you know, you got to show your love for people, all this other bullshit. But realistically, before you can show your love to others, you really need to love yourself. And I know
that's
it's
so cheesy.
no, it is cheesy, but it's not cheesy, and I'll tell you why. Is because, like, right now there's a really big problem, and I've been talking with a few different people about this, about people who just study human shit. We'll just call it that way, right? Without getting into fine detail right now. And I study human shit, and there's a really big thing where a lot of people are depressed. Like, genuinely, people are depressed. Younger people are depressed. You know, older people are depressed. They're just really depressed. And they feel, you know,
Are they, or is society making them feel
that's
that
what
way?
it is. But you know what? Society is just a collection of basically of feelings and stories and emotions and stuff like that. So that's actually a really big deal.
Not to take any. I mean, I feel like it does. Everyone claiming not to take anything away from people who are actually depressed, but I feel like that term is just thrown around so much that people are actually looking for that help and
depression,
resources.
but depression it comes
taken
in
away from them.
Depression comes in different forms, right? I'm not saying use it as a crutch, but the thing is that even right now, I had somebody on my team who was like recently came to me and they're not happy with what they do. And they make a good living doing it and they do stuff, but like they're not really that happy because they're like, oh, I'm really happy when I'm with other people or I'm singing, I'm dancing, or I'm doing whatever, doing pirouettes or whatever the shit that he wants to do. But the thing is that that's a real scenario. Like if you're not really happy with what you're doing, you need to change that shit. You need to change your mindset. You need to pull yourself out of it. You need to be around people and you need to like regroup. And you need to take care of yourself. You need to love yourself. And I mean, self-love comes in different forms, right? I mean, literally, it can come from treating your body nicer, right? Treating your body better. It could come in the form of taking in proper, what you read, what you consume. A lot of people don't realize that, what you consume, like whether, what you read, what you watch, what you eat, all these things, these are all part of consumption. And, that if you don't consume the right things, that's a part of self-care. That's a part of loving yourself. And if you put shit in your body, you're going to get shit out. And that's really, really important. And I've seen that a lot lately where people were getting a little depressed. They weren't working out. I mean, even just by joining something that maybe, listen, I'm not trying to tell people to be a gym rat. I'm not trying to tell people to like, work out 4 hours a day, but even something if you're doing let's say a boxing class or a jiu-jitsu class or something that makes you feel like that helps aid your mental health, it helps take care of you, helps you love yourself, you'll be able to push that love and spread that onto other people. You can't fill other people's cups up if you can't fill up your own. And I could honestly say, because I do a lot, for my family, and sometimes I'm like, I get stressed out. I'm just like, listen, I got to take care of myself. I just got to get my head straight. And whether that looks like me, going on the beach for 2 days and just sitting there looking out at the ocean, or it just means like, hey, listen, I just need to sit down and read this book. I need to close this computer and not worry about shit. That's really like a big deal in self-care, because I cannot help other people. You cannot help other people. You cannot love other people if you don't love yourself. So this fucking Valentine's Day, do yourself a favor and love your shit. Love yourself. That's the real ticket. And I'm not trying to say people are, I'm really not trying to say like, oh, it's an excuse, everybody's depressed. Yeah, have ups and downs and shit like that. But the Valentine's Day thing could be a pressure for a lot of people. You have a girlfriend and like this expectation, like, oh, you got to get your girlfriend something, you got to get somebody something. And, that's not what it's about, man. It's not about trying to whoa and woo and whatever. I mean, because the people in your life, whether you get some shitty Hallmark card or not, it doesn't make a difference. They should appreciate who you are. And then you can make Valentine's Day 1,000 times better. You can show them your love, like 6 months from now when your life is like and your head's right. So, and I know a lot of people, this is somewhat of a depressing holiday, because if you don't have, I mean, I was in
there's expectations put on it.
It's absolutely,
and then
there's a lot of expectation. And when I was a kid, and when I was in elementary school, I moved around a lot. I was a really poor kid, and I went to a lot of different elementary schools, and I didn't have a lot of friends till after high school. And even elementary and junior high, I had like I would give out Valentine's Day gifts, and I was like not really happy with myself, and I would give out all this stuff and like, here you go, and I wouldn't get that one back, and I felt fucked up. And my parents didn't really explain to me. And now listen, I don't think you should not do it, because I know they stopped doing it in some schools, like, you're not allowed to do this and you got to get it for everybody. But if my parents had explained to me like, hey man, this is like, you still need to love yourself, you're still a good person. I didn't hear those affirmation words, and I was even as a young kid, I was like, like 9-10 years old, and be like, oh well, what happened? I felt a little fucked up about it. Didn't want to give anybody anything. You go inwards, and the idea in the world is to go outwards. And you know what I'm saying? Even if you're an introvert, when you do go out, like you want to be able to share something positive. And then you're not sharing anything positive if you don't feel positive about yourself. So
I get that.
you know,
But at the same time, I mean, aside from the fact that it's Valentine's Day, like for me, like I get pleasure out of helping people, and I mean, yeah, I mean, everyone's saying, you know, love yourself and blah blah blah. Like you can't help others until you help yourself, that kind of thing. But like,
absolutely,
I don't know, dude. Like the next step for me is really helping other people.
And of course,
And
but that's you though, right? So that's you. It's like for you, your head is in the right place, right?
Well, it's like if you help other people, then you feel good about yourself. That's like the empathy, you know, thing in humans. We feel good when we do good things for other people because it's just, you know, it's the empathy thing. We're all human when we do good things for one another.
But how do you do good things for people
we feel
if you don't feel good about yourself being able to, or you feel like that by whatever you're doing? Like, let's think about it in this context. Well, like, so for instance, let's say you want to do something good. I think my camera went out. Actually, I don't know if you noticed that. I think one of the cameras went down. So for instance, let's just say that, you know, you wanted to do something good for somebody. Let's just say, you know, you want to cook them a dinner. Let's just say, like, if somebody has a friend, you want to invite them over for dinner, but you think your dinner is going to suck balls. Like, actually, maybe your balls would actually taste better than the dinner you had. And at that point, you know, like, oh, I don't really want to do it, or you don't do it, or you actually don't wind up doing it because you feel like you're not going to do a good job. That's because you don't actually like what you're doing, or you don't love the energy you're putting forth. And if that's the case, and you're not actually like happy with yourself and doing the best you can, you do your best. Listen, if the person doesn't like the meal, fuck them. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. They don't like the meal, but at least you went forward and you had the energy, you had the self-love, and be like, hey, listen, I want to do this. This is going to be good for me. If the person likes it, I've done it. And then, you know, and even if they don't eat all your food, at least you made the effort to do it. And then sometimes people don't even have that energy. If you're in a depressed state, dude, like, you don't even have the energy to do shit like that. So you know, that's what I'm saying about it. Is like this, yes, you know, essentially, if you wanted, a lot of people in their brains want to do, you know, have an empathetic scenario and do nice things. But again, if you are in a place, you're not even going to get to that step. You're not even going to get to the step of wanting to do something good, because you feel like it's gonna fall on deaf ears, or no, they're not gonna appreciate it.
It's a whole cycle, because if you help those people that feel like they can't help themselves, like that confidence and this is something that I learned as well, like moving around a lot as a kid. I know you were in a similar situation, like not getting too attached to friends, that type of thing, feeling like inconfident in yourself, and sort of learning it the hard way. Like it takes just one person to help you with that and to like give you confidence, even, you know, whether it be work or social skills, etc. Someone tells you, keep it up, you can do this, give confidence in you, like know that there's belief there in whatever scenario, like you're just gonna ride that confidence.
Correct. But
so
you just said it
goes from other people. It comes from other people.
But you just said it. Like, if somebody would do X. So in other words, stop fucking buying shitty chocolate boxes. Stop buying cards. Stop doing useless shit that doesn't make that just really just adds to the noise, and actually do something that somebody can personally, like, get, like, from you, like they can feel good for you. They can put more into them, and then therefore, you know, that's what resonates the most. And that's why I'm saying, like, you know, I literally, I drive up and down LA over here. Every other corner has, you know, and listen, I appreciate the hustle, but like, people are stopping traffic. There's like a quarter mile backed up because people are buying some shitty fucking bear made from China with like some like emulsified, you know, milk chocolate and whatever. And then, like, that's cool. Who doesn't like a box of chocolates? But I think the shit's played out now. I mean, we've been doing it for years. It's the same shit. It's stupid. and it's like the wrong. It sends the wrong message, you know. And again, listen. You want to send me a box of chocolates? I'll take dark chocolate. Okay, really, really dark chocolate. You know, everything from coconut to nougat. I'll take it. But if that's what you think that's gonna be like, you know, hey, happy Valentine's Day. That's not what I want.
It's a little thing, but there's that little pleasure endorphin rush when you do those. Even a Hallmark card, honestly, like even if it's the least, literally the
I like how you
brain
name dropped the Hallmark card.
The least brain work that you could think of, like non-creative. I feel like there is still a little speck of
it's like, oh, I have
endorphin.
this.
Like, dude, I mean, it's better than, you know,
Can I give
not
you my
getting
used?
someone.
Can I give you my used tea bag?
Dude, thank you. No, I really
Like, here you go,
I
happy
appreciate the
Valentine.
tea that you gave me.
See, look at that.
I
You
really
appreciate it.
Dude,
you appreciate shit.
this was like a great, generous offer from you. Well, I mean, I
know.
sort of asked for it. But
You asked for it, but
at
you
the
know
same
what?
time.
You get the, you know, that's what it's about.
You
So
know?
I'm trying to explain. That's what the big deal is here. You know.
But again, like even the little things, even the, but also, yeah, the expectation, like you said, if
I just think that we just
if
need
you
to think
don't
at a
fulfill
different.
those
We need to think at a
expectations,
different
that's
level because there's like I said, there is a lot of people out there who rush to be like. Again, this dude. This is case in point. This is like shit that's really happening to me and other people around me, and they're like, "Oh, a girl didn't appreciate this." Okay, so fuck her. Worry about yourself. Or him, or it, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. All right, you love a ghost. You like, you know, you have a passing ghost that you.
Oh, we had a comment that said, I caught my girlfriend sleeping with my brother last week. Do I still need to get her a Valentine's Day gift? You can get her.
Get her. You know what you get her? Get her a dollar store pregnancy test. At the dollar store, they have the little sticks you could pee on. You get her one of those, and see what she says, and just wrap it up real nice. You know, I'll be honest, Jay. I got friends in the past, like when I was younger. You know, obviously this is when the hormones just rushing all day. I bought my friend a box of condoms, and not only did I buy him a box of condoms, but I bought him a box of golden condoms. I got him the magnums, so he felt extra good about that because. You got the golden ticket. That's a different story, you know, my friends. So, but anyway, so happy Valentine's Day to you, yours, and anybody else things associated with you. Don't eat too much shitty milk chocolate. Do dark and you know, worry about yourself.
So I like my girls.
And yeah, I know, because you went to Jamaica, right? Speaking of which, right? How was that? So let's talk about that a little bit. So
hence the Jamaican music. I mean. Honestly, like a lot of Bob Marley, like that was like 24/7, and I was introduced to other reggae artists as well, and got to see him perform live. So, I wasn't a huge. I mean, I liked reggae music before, but I just got a whole new appreciation for it. And
you have a new appreciation. What about for the ganja? Do you have new appreciation for that?
Well, I've always had an appreciation for that.
But that's not just. So we had this little discussion, and I'd like to clarify it. We had a little discussion, a little tiff.
But yeah,
about weed versus ganja.
Let me step back
versus
and tell you why I went to Jamaica. We're filming basically a Bob Marley 75th birthday. I don't know if they're really pushing the advertising on this 75th birthday thing. So it's like hashtag Bob Marley 75. It would be his 75th birthday, and Universal, who's his record label, is trying to push out a lot of content.
It's trying to milk
and
his
documentary
non-existence
content. So we just took a trip there and just started filming the nature and his friends and family who sort of talked a lot about.
What's his friends and who'd you meet? His friends and family.
Literally, he's like a god there. So
no, I know. I mean, I get that. But I'm saying, you said you met his friends and family. Who'd you meet?
Just the whole Marley family, all of his sons.
What is he? Does he have an unlimited supply of
wife,
sons? Like how many? Can you tell me anything?
Damien, Steven, Ziggy.
Wow, it's busy.
Man.
What else?
Rohan
or
Rohan's like
Brohan?
Rohan.
Oh, Rohan. Oh, I thought you said Brohan.
He's the only one that doesn't have dreads, so he's kind of you know.
So that's 4. What else? Is there more?
It's interesting.
Daughters? He's sweating it up every night.
Huh? But
so what? So they're all in the same room.
Man.
Were they all in the
crazy.
same room? Like, what they do? Did they have a like? What did it look like?
Well, crazy.
What are you guys? You guys
crazy
doing
times.
peyote? Like, what are you doing? You're so crazy. Tell me how crazy it was, bro.
I don't know where to start, man. Like it's like it was
crazy.
just like we landed and it was just like boom, hit the ground running, start filming the city. Just really like no context for the situation. It was a little messy how they wanted us to cover it, but I just like we went with a small crew. There's several crews that were split up doing different things, but first day was in the city, just filming the B-roll, the people, just seeing their reactions to us filming like this big film crew.
See how poor that neighborhood is?
Definitely
you're filming
difficult thing to
filming
to do.
the poverty that's
like
there?
I only sort of survived and was able to experience filming this people was with our tour. Like if our tour guide wasn't there, if the local wasn't there keeping it straight, like I feel like things could have gotten a little rough. They're very I don't want to generalize them, but like a lot of people are very sensitive, and that goes with a lot of places, but being in LA it's a little more regular.
No shit, bro, because your fucking camera is worth more. Your camera's worth more than they made in 10 years.
It's like they're always. It's like yo, pay me. Like I'm on film. They understand the implications of being on film, but like we're trying to just get the natural.
They're trying to hustle, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's like
they're hustling.
And that's what that gets me. That's why a lot of people in America.
I would be the same way, honestly.
It's just like you have no idea how good you have it here.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
It was interesting. I mean, it was. They were friendly except for that. Like once you got to know them, once they knew, oh, it's for Bob Marley. Oh, it's cool. Like, can I be in it, type thing.
So you had a name drop. You had a name drop, even though you were doing a thing there for him. You
like,
had
yeah, Bob Marley. It's fine. It's cool.
But I thought you were with like his 5 children or 4 sons or.
Not
whatever.
all the time. Like we interviewed them once.
Really? Did you have to pay them on the spot, or did they ask for money?
I don't know.
What did they ask for?
I don't know. But man, dude. Okay, so beaches, crazy. Literal like.
They're beautiful because they've been untainted.
Towns on the beach, like literal like houses on the beach, like shops on the beach, like whole villages on the beach. It's like, and certain parts of it were like paradise.
What was the area that you went to? Do you know the name of the area?
Hard.
The name of the area?
Which specifically?
The name of the area. And let's say you got when everybody was starting to get a little rowdy pie.
That was just downtown Kingston. But we went to Trenchtown where he grew up. Tough Gong, which is where the recording studio.
Tough Gong, isn't that a record label? It's a record label, right?
Yeah. And they had the pressing plant there. You got to see how they basically made the vinyl.
That would have been cool. I would have enjoyed that. That would have been interesting for me to see.
I mean, it was just a mishmash of, because like even at that record, I guess record shop, or like a pressing plant. Like we had skaters. There was a surf and skate episode, and we had skaters actually come to Tough Gong and like skate around. And
do you know what they were doing? They were like,
really
do you know what
great.
they were doing? They're like sharks. They were ready to take you out on their skateboards.
But it was cool. We got some
in the
crazy
water. They're just surfing on land.
We got some crazy footage. Because like I brought my gimbal, so I was like trying to like follow them, and they're like, "Yo, can you keep up? You think you can keep up?"
See, dude, you had a what's it called? A guide the entire time. 90% of the time. Right?
It was different guys, but yeah.
Yeah. But you always had somebody, right?
Yeah.
They were skating on you for a reason, bro.
At the end,
they weren't trying to impress you.
No, these were people I obviously wasn't familiar with them before, but we got to know. Actually, I shouldn't say this, but one of them was kind of like a low-key like racist.
A low-key? What's a low-key racist?
She was.
What do you mean low-key?
I don't want to name any names, but
what do you mean? She's like she was like in the. I don't understand who she was.
No, towards me. Like I think she might have been young and not understood what she was saying, but like she basically said like Ching Chong, like like she thought that was my name. It was like, can you understand that? And I'm like, bruh.
But I don't get it. Wait, she said Ching Chong to you? You don't even look that Asian.
I know.
I mean, you look a little. Yeah, you look like you could be like one of those
like
anybody's.
Ambiguous. Actually, some people said with my long hair that, I could actually pass for a local if I was in a certain garb and.
Yeah, you look a little native. You look a little native.
But I was like, dude, like she said. Oh,
what do you mean? She said
Ching Chong Chong or something, and she said,
"Who was this?"
Oh, like can you can understand that, right? And I was like, I don't. So I think you're just trying to be funny, but you don't understand. Like, and it didn't bother me because I know she was young and like it's like
it was a local. It was a local.
Yeah.
So it's racist. So you were attacked with racist light.
Yeah, and I feel like some people can be like if you're raised in a certain area, maybe.
Well, the thing is, it's like people don't realize people don't realize that because everybody in America is just like always trying to put you in a box now. And it goes, oh, it's racist. It's racist. Oh, you're alienating me. And like everything, right? And but like this shit happens like fucking everywhere, man. It's like around the world. It's not just an American thing. Yeah. People who don't understand something automatically are defensive to it. They're scared of it, and when you're scared of something, you automatically associate it with being something that you
I don't think she was, but she was not racist. But I think she didn't realize that because she was young, and I feel like she was trying to be playful, and I wanted to say like, what do you think? I didn't want to call her out, but maybe I should have called her out just like for future. Like if you see someone that's like, looks certain way.
Well, I got years ago in one of my E3 videos, because I know a little Chinese and a little Japanese. I know a little bit of every language, but just not enough to do anything in particular. So I remember doing an E3 video interviews, and I went to this one guy who was obviously very Asian, and I had said thank you in Chinese, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not Chinese, Japanese." And he like kind of like a little offended. I was just like, "Oh shit, I didn't know," And he was like kind of cool, but he just like, "Oh no, I'm not. I want to let you know that I'm not Chinese, like I'm Japanese." But he was really old, so I couldn't really tell, and not that I could really tell anyway, 90% of the time, because I'm usually always wrong. But I mean, he kind of took it in stride, and I wasn't saying anything rude. I was just trying to be respectful. I said thank you in the wrong language, and I feel like stuff like that, you sit here and you could be a butthurt all day long, or you could just be like I said,
I wasn't bothered, but I was a little like, oh, like, is this, could this perpetuate into something like if someone was actually,
what's that going to perpetuate into?
What is she going to do? I don't know if you met someone that you actually didn't know and they were a little more aggressive about it. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, you gotta understand what you're saying to certain people.
Oh, really? I feel like the Asian culture is not really aggressive in general, though. There's not too many. I feel like as a culture,
have you met Bruce Lee?
He's not aggressive. He's defensive. There's a difference. He's not aggressive.
New Yorkers, on the other hand.
New York is an aggressive culture. I feel like that's in a separate culture all out of itself.
Anyways, I don't want to dwell too long on that, but I'll mention a few more moments. This was a really interesting one, and before we move on from this, I just want to say we went to the mountains a few times, deep in the mountains. Once to 9 Mile where Bob Marley was buried, and another time to like a Rasta village, way deep. It was like a 2-hour drive or something, so basically bumpy road, very windy, almost got sick a few times, but it was worth it. It was worth it. We go to this cafe, we have a nice time watching the sunrise, filming it, eating great food from the natural.
You should have had your Valentine's Day date with
dude. It was that's literally the best date, the best place I can think of to bring like a loved one there. Like, it's just fucking unreal.
All kinds of.
It's literally out of like a movie. Like, I was like,
where's those Twitch?
I must be in the Truman Show right now.
Where's those Twitch streamers now? Why don't we get some? This guy could bring you to this next rendezvous for the next video.
Takers. But anyway, after this amazing breakfast, we go a little farther up, maybe a half an hour. Maybe not.
So they had craft service?
20 minutes up.
They had craft service in another country, or they just bought local
service.
restaurant? Yeah.
No. We
How'd you get food?
We just got the card, the company card. I guess.
Oh, you just went to restaurants and just bought shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
thought maybe like
I don't want to go into all the details on that because it was some of it was a little touchy, but so we go as far as we possibly can via car, and they're like, we can't drive anymore. We got to climb. We got to climb the rest of the way, but you're gonna want your camera gear. You're gonna want the best stuff you have in order to capture this in like the optimal way. So be prepared. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. I can do this. All I got is an easy rig, which is basically a camera support, really heavy vest that supports the camera. That should be all right. No worries. And have my big camera with the monitor and some accessories. But like I was like questioning whether I should bring my case or not. And they're like, don't worry about it. Like this guy, he goes up there all the time. He can carry.
Who's this guy?
It's the
same. Is this the same guy?
Different local. He was like, he walks up to the.
We get a network of locals like this.
Like he goes up to the village. Yeah, we got people in everywhere.
They have an
all
Airbnb for just
and basically,
locals?
No, they're just deep in the
deep in the heart. You just go in there waving greenbacks. Hey,
anyways, like he's like
here.
I'm like, are you sure you can like carry this? Like, this is kind of steep. Like, and he's like, yeah, no problem. Like, I got it. So he puts my bags on his head and starts like walking up. And so it's like pretty easy at first. Nope. And then oh shit.
Oh.
That's okay. I'll just switch to me.
Oh.
Once I finish the story, we'll have charged battery. But so you start walking. It's not bad. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, how long? Like, what's the length of, how far up is this? He's like, a mile. And I'm like, whoa.
That's a lot, dude.
Whoa.
That's a lot for somebody who hasn't.
Well, we got water. It's fine. Who
actually hasn't done hiking. You don't do hiking, right? You don't do hiking like elevated hiking.
I'm like a pretty fit guy, but this was.
Well, I'm talking about elevated hiking. That's a different story. The air pressure changes.
I did some training up in Griffith Park.
Oh yeah, you're comparing the Jamaican mountains to
dude, the air. Yeah, it was pretty thin. It was hot. But. I see this guy in front of me. He's like carrying these bags on his head, and I'm like, wow, this guy is really is familiar with this. He can do this. Like this, he does this for a living. And so I'm just following him and just like, all right, if this guy can do it, I can do it. So I'm following him, just like trying to keep up, but also trying to like get some cool footage. And I just lose my breath. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. We gotta pause here for a second, and I try to like make it seem like I want to capture like the horizon here.
Oh, you're just trying to
trying to catch my.
You're just pretending that you just haven't lost.
And I realized that the
man versus mountain.
We had a few other crew there, and they were like they were behind, and so I realized that it was just me and this guy.
Out of shape fucking Americans.
It was me and this guy. Like
this guy's like running up the mountain, and you got everybody.
Like, maybe we should wait for the next people or the people. Behind us.
It was like you guys. It was like he was leading the march against the Eye of Sauron, and everybody else behind him is just like a bunch of dwarves trying to keep up. I literally
like killed my fucking back, and one of the easy rig, like one of the screws got loose.
It's not so easy anymore, huh?
And so it was like from then on, I was like, well, at least we don't have to, because we made it up, but it was difficult. I was like, thank God we don't have to come back up here. The hike down was a little nicer, but
well, I mean, because you're working, gravity's working with you as opposed against you.
But he's like, oh, you want me to take that easy rig? I can carry it to you. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I got it.
So that's good. You got a workout. You had everything.
And yeah, no, it was great. Like there was like a Rasta.
Did you have a Jamaican beef patty, by the way?
Yeah.
Those things are fucking good, right?
I had to.
Nice greasy meat. So delicious.
I had to, leave my vegan
Yeah, we're
a
not.
second.
Yeah, nobody's doing that over there.
Actually, Bob was vegan. He was vegan.
He was probably vegetarian. He probably wasn't vegan. I don't think he was vegan.
I think he was.
I think people want to make him vegan. I think that people are trying to make him vegan. I feel like people, when in a certain movement, that they have any commonalities, they want to try to make them just exactly how.
You're right. Bob was not a vegan, but he was plant-based. He liked fish. Oh, he liked fish. Okay, so he's not even a vegetarian.
I mean,
he's like a pescatarian.
Yeah, it's like same thing, dude. That's because I keep
Someone lied.
saying this over and over again. Every time, being a vegan is a modern nicety. It is not something that you could easily accomplish if this wasn't like you can just go to the store and just fuel up, like trying to find all the right ingredients.
Okay,
It's just, I mean, I know I've made jokes about this before. Listen, if you want to be vegan, you do it, but doing it the healthy way. Most people don't do it the healthy way. Most people don't eat enough vegetables, or the right vegetables, all right, or greens, whatever, plant-based product, and they don't supplement correctly. And they wind up getting sick or something happens, and ultimately it's just a clusterfuck. So, I've tried doing the whole vegan thing for a little bit. My brain started to shrink. I feel like, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I essentially am kind of like a pescatarian. I eat a lot of fish or sea stuff.
Dude,
in general.
The fish there.
Oh, it doesn't even taste
unreal,
close.
Dude.
I
We
want
literally
sushi.
were at the beach and like this guy caught this fish and like skinned it right there and
That's
like
the freshest
literally I
fish you'll
saw the
have.
head. He was like,
You saw
oh,
the
you want
head?
the head? You can eat the head too. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's because people in other countries don't waste shit. Like, they literally eat everything. What do you think lingua is? That's like a thing that like people eat here sometimes, and like old schoolers eat it and whatever.
Linguine? What?
No, lengua.
Lengua.
Yeah, it's cow tongue, bro.
Cow tongue.
You get a little cow tongue. Imagine if you're a cow and we don't waste anything. Get some cow tongue. Do you know what Rocky Mountain oysters are?
Oysters from the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, because because oysters are in the Rocky Mountains. You ever hear of Rocky Mountain oysters? Look at lingua tacos. Oh, look, he's gonna type it in
Wait.
because he doesn't believe me. He wants to see. There it is. There you go.
Wait a second. Hang on.
Are you having a hard time reading that?
Rocky Mountain oysters, prairie oysters, bull testicles. Oh, okay.
What about? Yeah, a little bit. I'm surprised you haven't heard about that. Aren't you from like the land of 1,000 lakes or 10,000 lakes? Well, they have some
Not originally.
Rocky Mountain oysters there. I would figure they did.
Yeah. Well,
They're
now
actually
now I'm
pretty.
gonna have to-
They're pretty tasty. I've had some bull's balls before. Bull's ball. I had them in Texas. Amarillo, Texas. Gonna go square dancing. My friends. So anyway, moving
just
on.
this is a little taste of my Jamaica trip. There's plenty more stories,
I'm
but
getting
we'll
hungry
have to,
just thinking about
I'll have
Jamaica
to-
and the good
I'll have to
food.
drip them out for you. I don't want to go too long.
I'm getting hungry thinking about it. All right, so what do we got next
But
here?
I did eat some jerk chicken. So I don't usually eat chicken, but the jerk chicken was the jerkiest
jerk
chicken I've
chicken.
ever. It was a jerk. It was like punching me in the face.
So speaking of jerks, China's a bunch of jerks. You know why? So talk about a little bit. How's your coronavirus? You know, it's really funny when the first thing came out, people actually thought it was like a coronavirus, meaning like if they didn't hear the information, they thought that it was like because you drank Corona beer. Like that was the thing. So Corona beer virus.
That's the best anti-beer campaign you can have.
Well, I eventually found out it was not from the beer, but like at first glance, people were like, what, coronavirus?
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather not be able to drink Corona beer or Heineken?
Oh, I'm not. I don't like
No,
Heineken at all, bro. I am not a Heineken guy.
I am a Heineken. I'd rather have Heineken than
No,
Corona.
no, no. I'd rather have. I'll take Corona any day with some. It's refreshing. It's not too bad. But I'd actually rather drink Modelo. Modelo is actually a little bit better than Corona.
I like
I don't know if you ever had Modelo, but
that. No, I do. I like it. You know what
So-
beer was? Let me ask you what you think the beer of Jamaica is.
oh, it's a Red Stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, they advertised that for years. I mean, I'm a marketing guy, right? So like I'm a marketing maniac.
Dude, Red Stripe was literally.
Red Stripe.
I
is
didn't go a day.
Jamaican for beer.
I didn't go a day without drinking a Red Stripe. It was crazy. They were just giving it
Yeah,
to
that's
me.
like the Budweiser of like Jamaica.
I was like,
I
I
don't
didn't,
think
I didn't
it
know. I
tastes
don't
good,
think
though.
it was. I don't think it was initially invented there or like initially brewed there. I think it was like
they did
a
really
European
good,
thing.
They did a
that
really
just-
fucking good job
that just
because
break-
every mofo drinks that shit. And I don't really like it. It's like I mean if you give it to me and I was gonna drink one, I'd drink one, but like I'm really not a big fan of the Red Stripe. Red Stripe. I want to get. I mean, it sounds cool, right? It's like Nike for beer. Like everything everything that says stripes is usually pretty cool, you know. Freddy Krueger
They
had
should have-
stripes. Everybody
they
likes
should
him.
call it Yellow Stripe because isn't that the flag? Wait, wait.
Yellow
Jamaica
stripe.
flag, isn't it?
I don't-
green
I
and-
don't know
green
what
and
the
yellow?
Jamaican flag. What is it?
Green, black, and
Go-
yellow.
Look it up. Look it up. What do we got? I think
Yeah, Yellow Stripe.
yellow stripe. Maybe is there a red stripe? Oh, yellow stripe beer. That'd be kind of a cool. Yeah, but I don't think they even equipped for like that area.
This
You know,
is a
the
sick
thing about
flag.
the thing about Jamaica is it's a pretty sick flag. The thing about Jamaica is like it's not. It's kind of like the Hawaii is to America. It's like there's not too much export or import. It's kind of like self-sustaining to some extent, but it doesn't have commerce and it can't function. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not cost effective to get. I mean, it's really just a fucking vacation spot. It's essentially just
Yeah,
a
like
hangout. It's a place to hang the fuck out. That's really what it is. I mean, it's beautiful, but there's nothing. I mean, there's not too much commerce there. There's not, you know.
Yeah, it's not very industrial, and that's a good thing, I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some places in the world would be cool to not have to be too industrious. I feel like it's like a little set away, but it's also bad for the people that live there too, because, you know, they don't really have, and this is the business. We always drag business into it. I love the fact that we somehow get into business. They don't have, there's no real infrastructure there. So like the more people that are actually born there or, you know, go there, I mean, it's really not. Without tourism is their number one money making scenario. So when they had that really bad storm, I forgot the storm they had. They always have some kind of shit. But when they had that really bad storm, yeah, it really affected them because like when you shut down tourists, same thing with Puerto Rico, you know, when you shut down, I mean, I think even Puerto Rico makes more, believe it or not, there's more export out of that place than there is in Jamaica, you know, and most people who go to Jamaica, Nassau, you know, Bahamas, stuff like that, it's just, again, it's really just kind of hanging out. I mean, there's food to eat there for the people, but they're not producing in mass quantity for exportation. So,
Yeah.
speaking of exports, so the coronavirus is a fucking disaster. You know, on another business perspective about it, it's
Can
really,
I tell you, I was freaking out because like literally more than half the people on the plane to Miami, because this was like right before the Super Bowl, they were wearing masks and
what
people
on
were
the
coughing
plane?
everywhere. And
Really?
yeah,
On the
yeah,
plane?
Yeah. I
You're
mean,
afraid.
it's like a common
Fear.
Like I think it's standard now. Like at the airports, like people are like.
Well,
wearing
when I
masks
traveled
and-
back, I was in
sure.
Miami when you were flying to Miami.
Yeah.
And I didn't wear any mask, but I did. People were coughing. I was just like exit stage right. I was like, okay. I was
Right.
just like walking away.
But now they're on the customs thing, or well, not the customs, but like they asked me like, yeah, on the customs sheet they were like, you know, have you traveled to China within blah blah blah. Like, what if you had and you just lied? Like,
well, then
Is that
you're a
illegal?
fucking asshole, and then
you could be a dick and just fuck.
well, you can, but you know,
people
you're
out.
actually hurting yourself if you lie because you're not gonna get treated. So if you're like, they don't know, let's say
But
you
it's
get
their
really sick.
2 week incubation period, so you don't actually know. If
Yeah, I know,
you
but
have it
like,
or not.
look at China. Like they had to build like last minute. Like they couldn't even, dude. Like some of the videos that surfaced, where you just see people like lined up in the hallways. No one even gives a shit. They're like, they got people are either dead or sleeping, like with the things covered over their face. Like you can't see anything. No one cares. Like the way the infrastructure is so fucked. And then this is the crazier part about it. So. Okay, so obviously like 40,000 plus, almost 50,000 plus people have the virus, right?
Yeah.
And it's
100 something died in China already.
100. Oh, you're behind, bro.
Over 100.
You're
Wait,
like it's like 700.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Shit.
almost 1%. It's veering over towards 1%, almost.
Holy shit.
So the thing is that this is on a financial perspective. So as you know, like I do stock investments, so like I follow stock a lot, and I do all types of different investments. And one of those things was Chinese traded, what we call ETFs, exchange traded funds. And what ETFs basically are, it's a broker. It's like basically it's a stock that has a bunch of other stocks in it. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to play all these stocks. I don't want to buy all these stocks. So I'm going to buy this one stock that represents a whole pool of stocks, right? So you could do this thing. You could buy, everybody knows the buy low, sell high, bullshit, whatever. But there's ways that you can, and I don't want to go into hardcore making this a class, but like there's ways where you can play the market. And if you think it's going to go down or not, you make money. Okay. I don't know about you, but if you get like an insane, almost 100,000 people sick, and it shuts down all production, and it shuts down, it forces people in quarantine. There literally is no commerce for a month and a half.
Right. So you're saying
right?
you should
Their stock should fucking drop. And you know what happened? The Chinese government artificially inflated and injected billions of dollars, and I lost money because they're so corrupt. And they not only did they stop, they basically forced people to stop selling. So in the U.S. market, you could sell if you don't feel confident, right? If the shit's dropping out, and like, yo, sell before it keeps dropping, right? But in China, they were forcing people to keep their stock, so you couldn't even sell. So, because they didn't want the bomb to drop out on it, right? And be like, oh no, like sell, panic sell, right? So, like, basically, they forced everybody to keep the stock, and then they injected billions of dollars, and somehow, some way, over the last month, 3.5 weeks to a month, their stock is up 5%. I don't even know. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can have a company that says, oh, we got something happen to us or whatever, right? And then, like, all of a sudden, like, drop 10%. But China's entire commerce, no in, no out, everybody's sick, no cure, total shutdowns. Like, people are going to feel this effects of the entire world right now. I mean, we all talk about it, whatever, but people are going to feel the effects of this over the course of the next 6 months. Because anything that we buy from China, anything, whether it be a small little widget for like a car being made, or something you get at Walmart that's like, a dustpan or whatever the fuck you're going to do, whatever the case is, whatever you're buying, right, and it comes out of China, you're going to say goodnight to it. It's going to be gone. Because by the time they get their shit together and actually get back into production and actually get going, like, you're going to see at least 5 to 6 months. You're not going to see anything come out of China till like October of this year. It's going to be closer to Christmas by the time shit comes out. And the crazy part about it is their stock's not even reflecting that right now. But in the long run, when the Pied Piper comes through and be like, where's the money? Like, you're going to eventually run out. Because it's all bullshit. So so basically, China is artificially inflating their stock market, and it's bullshit. And it's bullshit to investors, I'm not trying to be like a dick and be like, oh, I hope you guys get sick and blah blah, stay safe. But it's just not. It goes to show you how fucking dishonest as a business, as a country, and as a business they run. Because if they're willing to do shit like that, I can only imagine between the tariffs and the copyright infringement and all the shit that's been going on for years and years and years and years, that just goes unchecked. And then even in the stock market, they're gaming the system. They're gaming the system from overseas, not from here, because you can't do that shit in the New York Stock Exchange. But like they're doing it overseas, and then basically keeping the price of the stock high, even though nothing. The ports, dude, you can't even get a plane in here. If you were somebody from America and try to get in, you can only get on like one flight, and I think it's fucking being shipped off to Canada. I think you gotta go into like Canada in some cold climate or some shit first, and then you gotta like get checked out, and then you come back in. You're locked down. Like you're locked down. So like it's amazing to me that how they can fucking game the system like that, and I'm so furious. So note to self: anybody who invests in China, pull the fuck out. Just don't even. Just pull out, man. Just pull out of China. Pull out your money. Don't go to Alibaba. Don't source. I find somebody else, because you know what? Not only because the thing is, they're also, because when they come out of this, right, in the next 6-7 months, shit's gonna be higher priced. People want shit now. Go source somewhere else. Go find it.
Yeah.
Go sign it somewhere else. So
they're trying to do something short term. They're trying to be scummy, but in the long term, it's gonna bite them in the ass.
Yeah, it's gonna bite them in the ass. And people don't really understand. Like you do. Like I can tell you right now, your fucking Adidas hat's made in China. Like it might be designed here. Maybe they got the hat. Maybe the emblem is sewn here if you're lucky. But that hat's made in China. Those headphones made in China, dude. I mean, China controls like, I'd say almost it's almost like the Amazon of production. It controls about 20% of like the gross international product of like things being manufactured. The place is horrendous. I mean, it's just what it's become. It's become the world's like. It's become the world's like working slavery house, and no one knows it. Everybody's like pretend like oh I just get this stuff from China, dude. Like people in China get paid like $2 a day, $3. Some of the like they're not making a ton of money, and then imagine like shutting it down, dude. They're like people getting food. If I showed you some of the videos, bro, people like getting like pulled out. I'll even put some of the video links. It'll be interesting to see if they're still even up, right? They pulled like thrown into like into quarantine units and like screaming and getting pulled and thrown into like cop cars and vans. Shit's crazy, bro. Shit's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, we're only seeing
Chernobyl.
We only see like a little piece of what's going on.
Oh, I know.
We're only seeing a little piece, but this shit is pandemonium. And then there's also, of course, that the whole like there's a big what's it called, a conspiracy theory saying that like America planted that. But yeah, okay, why would we want to fucking do it like that? I mean, we're still shooting ourselves in the foot at that point.
I think it came from like some type of animal, like pangolin or something, like an armadillo type
Well,
thing.
supposedly it came from bats.
Oh,
some
that's what you heard?
some Batmans, and then
conflicting stories here.
Well,
So-
no. Supposedly it was the old Batman, some kind of Batman, and then like it went into it's like a half armadillo, half whatever the fuck it is, pangolin,
Pangolin, yeah.
pangolin, yeah. And then like that was like the carrier from at that level, and then like somebody's eating the thing is, it's like in China there's a lot of beliefs that you eat the fucking hardest shit and you just eat random things that like it has a heartbeat, and magically you live longer and you have stronger yang, and then your kids will be the emperor. Like I don't even know. Like it's if you find, I mean, they can eat some crazy shit, dude. I mean, yeah, you boil your fucking rat soup. I mean, I showed you the link. Oh, we eating cockroaches, like lots of thousands of cockroaches. I don't know about you. Okay, if you're in the wild and you had to eat cockroaches and to live and to survive, okay, I'll eat a fucking cockroach. I'm not looking to dine on cockroaches every day because I know they fucking walk on everything, on feces, and they eat everything, and they just spread disease. They can live in disease-ridden activity because that's what they do. They're designed to live in that. Humans, on the other hand, aren't designed to take in feces from everything else that exists. So eating cockroaches isn't my jam. So I just, it's just interesting to me that they just eat fucking everything, and eventually you're gonna get sick. And I can listen. I can get sick here eating some bad sushi, right? And there's like a sign at the door, and like everybody's checking everything. Do you think they're checking some random fish market or like food market in the middle of Wuhan City? Give me a break, Which actually, what leads me to another thing, which is really funny. I'm gonna get all what's it called? I'm gonna get all ADD on your ass. So there's this kid. And I want to point this out, and this makes me a little angry. There's this stupid kid who, basically was on Twitter. Well, he was on Twitter, but like he got in trouble, for like trying to go viral, and he screamed out on a plane that he was infected.
No, let's not talk about this,
dude. Plain
let's not
bad.
give
Dude,
any publicity to.
Yeah, we shouldn't. But anyway, the kid was stupid. Who's seen it? What can you do? Anyway, he's like, oh, and it's so ridiculous in the video, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm an artist. I was just trying to get some publicity, because I'm an artist.
Fuck that.
And he's like, he thinks he's an artist. I just want to let everybody know, you are not an artist. If you're online or you're trying to make viral videos, the bottom line is that viral videos are viral because they're unintentionally awesome.
Yeah, I think you took it a little too literally.
Not because, I was just like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, if you want to go viral, we should just throw his ass in a room and have like 20 people cough on his ass with like different viruses and be like, yo, go and uber viral, and just cough on him and be like, oh, it's a joke, don't worry about it. But they actually turned the plane around and got arrested.
If you're fucking trying to do shit like that for publicity,
but that's a lot of prank. That's the prank shit.
Well,
there was like a ton
I guess
of prank
we're talking
shit.
about him, and so
but
let's not do that.
We're not gonna give him any more props. But I just know that I when I seen that, I saw the interview, I was just like, wow. This is what people do on the internet.
Go to, yeah.
But this is a thing, though. This is what happens now on the internet. Like a lot of people are trying to. So I was actually at a cooking class, like a few weeks ago, and there was a young couple in their early 20s who was like, yeah, we're gonna, like if things don't work out here in my job, I'll just start a YouTube channel. That's what the chick told us. If things don't work out, I'll just, if anything,
infuriating, bro.
I was just gonna start a
Your
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel is probably harder than anything that she's ever done in her entire life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
to actually make money from a fucking YouTube channel.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
24/7 work.
And it's just but not only that, but it's
luck.
But it's not even luck. It's hard work and being smart about stuff too. Like, what does that mean? Like, oh, I'm just gonna start a YouTube channel, so I'm just gonna broadcast. Like, I'm just gonna talk about myself on video. Like, what does that even? Like, what does that mean? What does that? I don't even get it. But she actually said that she was like taking like international relations or some shit, and she said that if things don't work out with her job, she's just gonna always start a YouTube channel. And I'm just like, all right, well, if you're thinking to just make money starting a YouTube channel.
Is she blonde?
No, she's not. She's actually pretty cute. She was a cute chick. I think she was.
I shouldn't have said that.
She was I think she was brunette, and she was like, I think she was some kind of Latin and Israeli or something like that. But like, she was definitely cute. She was nice, but like that thought process has got to go straight in the trash can. I don't know what you're thinking, people. Like, if you think that that you're not gonna give people value and you're just gonna magically start a YouTube fucking channel, good luck. Good luck, man. You're gonna be eating cockroaches next. You're gonna be eating cockroaches. I'm gonna have to buy you some cockroaches. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's just like that kind of killed it. So yeah. So for the business perspective on this podcast, you definitely don't want to source from China. Don't buy anything from Alibaba because you're not going to see the shit for almost a year. So don't waste your money. So if you want to learn how to source, don't forget to subscribe now. There's a ton of places. Subscribe now. Go to my channel, and I'm going to show you guys how to do all that awesome stuff to actually make yourself the money you need to make, not rely on onlinechina.com. At the moment. Okay. So
All right.
right. So
Next
next up, speaking
some
of
tech.
sourcing and tech and products made in China, conceived in Japan but made in China, the PS5. Now, there's a few designs. The PS5 looks like a little bit like a vagina, like Valentine's Day. The initial shot, you see that? It's like a big V in the middle. That was an early.
Is that real?
That was an early concept photo.
I don't think
a
that's
3D
gonna be
concept render. That
Dumb.
looks just like a fucking
Dumb.
spaceship. It's weird and dumb. I'm not really feeling it.
I think design at this point, designs like are. I mean, I get that you're trying to represent a brand and make it cool and everything, but I feel like you want to make it efficient when it comes to computing power, and I don't know if that like vents that point at each other, like, is that really the most efficient when it comes to releasing
well
heat? Like,
for years.
even the new Xbox, they already released that. I mean, that's coming out pretty soon, I think. And those are the finals. It's just like a black tower, like it's basically a PC, right?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. So it's really interesting. So when I was doing hardcore gaming stuff, we would use concept photos and concept drawings that we get from the artists, or not, or we just contract the artists to make box art for games that they get released that we heard that were going to get released or that were being worked on. And so we created release dates. So we used to get a lot of people like, oh shit, like this game's coming out, and it was like Easter eggs. It was really interesting stuff. Like that was just because I'm a marketing maniac, and I did that before there was even box art concepts. So I did that for years, and I used to even do mock-ups to the new game systems, like, so there'd be some renderers out there before the thing even existed, and that's just an early render. That may have not even been, they say it leaked the design concept, but that may not even have been their design concept. It's not. And then there's another one there, a new one I sent you too. So from a dev kit, this one looks a little bit more real to me. Did you have the other one? Did you?
Wait, hang on.
The secondary one?
I got it.
That one looks like more along the lines of what it could be, because it's got the ports, the multi-video ports, the USB ports.
Very Tron.
It's very well. It
Tron-like.
almost looks very similar to what the PS4 is now, so that kind of makes sense. And yeah, so that kind of makes sense, and I think we're gonna see something along the lines of that in PS5. And again, I'm gonna say that you're gonna have a hard time getting PS5 because, one, the price is gonna be higher. Number one, most likely, right? And then number two is that the price is gonna be higher, and then number two is like, because of literally the production issues aren't gonna be resolved for a few months. So if they're gonna start creating this console, whether it be the certain chipsets or the moldings or whatever the case have you, they're gonna be behind schedule, so it'll be a shortage. So when this thing comes out, you're gonna probably want to fucking see this thing for $1,000. Because if people want a PS5 and they'll be like, oh, PS5 sold out everywhere, blah blah, yeah, that's gonna be the case, man. Because they're not gonna be able to supply demand. It's gonna be crazy. For that.
I think I missed. Why is it going to be so expensive?
Well, because of the whole China thing. Well, one, the price of the item, they're having a hard time keeping the price down because of the specs. And then the other thing is that essentially, again, China's production problem right now. This shit's produced in China. I don't care what anybody says. Like, in fact, when I used to get repair parts for our consoles, they used to come out of China. So like the replacement kits and stuff like that. So that's gonna happen.
I don't think it's coming out for
it's
quite
supposed to
a
come
while.
out. It's supposed to come out the end of this year. It's supposed to come out for Christmas. That's what's supposed to happen.
So you think they're already manufacturing?
Yeah, they're trying to already manufacture, but I can guarantee you they're not gonna have an easy time, and then people are gonna pay the piper for it. And I don't even really know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, if you remember the first PlayStation, was it 3? I think was like already like $600, and people were like, "Whoa, that's a
and really,
fortune."
if you think about it, it's really not that much for a game console.
Or was it 6 or 8?
Dude, I paid
think it was
for my
6.
PS2. I was selling back when PS2 came out. I had import PS2 and then I had American PS2. I was selling PS2s like day of release as a bundle for like $800. 800, 900. And that was
PS2.
back in the 2000s, bro. We're talking like 2000, 2001, 2001. And then like the PS3s that were rare, people ran out of them because they had the 60 gigs, the 20 gigs. I have the
60
original.
gig, $600 for a 60 gig. How much do you think this is? Fucking $100 right now. Yeah, most.
I love my PS3 actually. I still play PS3 when I get if I'm rocking something. But that's gonna be a story. So I don't even know the games. Should we do E3 this year? Should we do E3? I was thinking about rebooting.
Everyone's
stuff.
Going out at E3 and doing their own thing.
Well, yeah, but when you say going out of E3, just so you know how it works, around
they're
E3 time they go into
splitting
like
off
different
and going to different venues. I get it.
Yeah, they just
like
go.
Microsoft goes across the street. Sony's not even there. They have their own event, and then EA's in Hollywood.
Yeah, so like just E3 week, you could just be whatever. Screw that. Screw SCEA, man. I don't. What's it? Not Sony Computer Entertainment America. I'm sorry, the Consumer Electronics CEA, Consumer Electronics Association. Like, cause like the whole noise. First, it was years. It's like we hated the E3. We loved the E3. Bring it back. E3. E for all. E for nobody. E for you. E for me. Just pop some E. Like it was just crazy. So it's a pain in the ass, and I don't really have any love for it. But I'm always very curious about the new tech and seeing like the new. I mean, it's just come a long way, man. And really,
Actually, this report says it costs $450 to make.
To make, that's not what they're gonna retail for.
I know. No, it goes to your point. It's like, are they gonna make a $50 profit, or is it gonna be more difficult to actually manufacture these things? Or?
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see.
It says around $500 though, according to.
I mean, they probably have two models, one with a small hard drive, one with a bigger hard drive. But I do know that it's going to be interesting to see the supply and demand issues that come down the pipe on this. And then the game. I mean, how much better can the games get? Really, this shit looks so fucking real already. It's crazy. Like compared to where.
With PC and graphics cards, it's all about ray tracing now. It's all about that lighting. Like it's like how the light shines on the assets and how the water looks.
How the light shines on the assets.
You know about ray tracing? Like that's the thing that the new graphics cards can do.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that and the also too the retinas of the eyes, the humans, like how they look, how the eyes, because that was like a big thing too, like how eyes look and respond in gaming. But
yeah, I mean PC master race.
But I'm just
it's true.
I'm just saying, like,
I think
it's interesting.
There's like
to say.
you could say hardcore gamers, but isn't a console essentially for not a hardcore gamer? Because like it's like accessible to get for the public.
It used to be the opposite way around. It used to be that the PC market was a second to the console market. So in the 70s and 80s, game systems were come out for the sole purpose of playing games. Then Nintendo, Sega Genesis, like Sony, they were just like you always got more game selection and better games and better controllers for game consoles. And then over the course of, I'd say the last 15 years, when Steam came out, that's just like, and then like more accessories.
And then, accessories, controllers for PC now, like Xbox, and Microsoft has the
Yeah, so it's a different market now. It's shifted because they used to put more money into the consoles. Now it's kind of like caught up. In fact, it used to be even before that. It used to be the arcades. The arcades used to be a better, like you'd be like, oh, I'd be like the arcade. The arcade's awesome. I mean, nothing comes close to the arcade now. Like the home versions are always better than the arcade. And the only reason you go to the arcade is because you want the camaraderie of playing other people in the location.
The nostalgia.
So like I like going to arcades, but again, I'm selective what arcades I go to when I go, who I'm playing against. I'm still gonna whoop that ass in Street Fighter 4, maybe some Street Fighter 5.
I think there's a story that's saying like certain games are going to be multi-platform that would be like Microsoft exclusive.
Well, those exclusive days are over because companies don't make any money. They just want to because again the buying one system over the other. The only system that still does that, the only manufacturer still does that is like Nintendo, because Nintendo is the Mario and the Zelda franchises, they're their love childs. They don't want to give those up. That's what sells systems for them, So,
right.
But it'd just be interesting.
I don't know.
But it's crazy. It is. I actually might be taking a step back into the gaming business, and I will talk.
Is that so? I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, well, that's why it's an announcement.
All right, let's hear it.
I might be going back into the gaming scene. I'm going to in a business way. So I might be going back into the gaming scene as a project. But I won't be doing reviews and news. I'll probably be getting somebody to do that for me. I'll be directing stuff, and then.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the unboxing type stuff?
Well, that stuff, some of the stuff we talked about, because I had a lot of companies that reach out to me and start to get us. They still want us to do stuff, and then on top of that, actually getting into the retro scene, because I still like a retro shit, and I have a few partners that are interested in actually going back into that retail realm. But I'm not going to be I'm going to be kind of a consultant type of thing.
Retro mini consoles are really big now. People are getting them for their kids because it's that's
what I'm saying.
The N64 mini or whatever, Super, there's a whole bunch of them.
Exactly. So because I'm literally in that I've been in that market for so many years. I know the manufacturers. I know where they get the stuff. I know the marketplace. I basically will be consulting with that market, with the people involved in that market. So I'm not necessarily going to be, let's say, the owner of the companies, but I will probably wind up taking a step in as the consulting level or director. So, but that's not going to happen for a few months, probably 5 or 6 months at least. But it's just interesting that every single time that I take a step away from gaming, it just calls me back. It's just hey, come back. So it should be interesting, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's I have a lot of knowledge, and I don't want to keep it up here. I want to give it to everybody else.
Life's short. You gotta. If it calls back to you, you gotta.
So speaking of calling back, hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We've been on here for a little while now. This is the V-Day, D-Day, the V-Day. This is the Get It podcast. If you haven't subscribed already, take a moment.
This is
yeah, bro.
Super popular.
Yeah, and people hack that shit too, with 1,000 ROMs on it. But dude, man, look at my phone. I have a little hack thing right there. I'm always got something going on here. But
only $59.99.
But yeah, so but if you guys haven't subscribed, do yourself a favor, subscribe now. Okay, this is the greatest podcast ever, chock full of real shit. Real talk
in the universe,
and real business. We need real
biggest
things.
Podcast in the
We're doing real things. We're not sitting around talking about kids from Sweden. Okay.
Sometimes we ramble, but we're getting better.
Yeah, I don't know. You must be talking about your kid from Sweden or yourself. I'm not sure. Too much ganja.
Well, I don't know.
But
I don't want to name any names, but
yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe now.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Share it with your friends.
All right.
Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch.
Subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Insta. We're just about everywhere. I'm David Scarpetta. That's Hakeem.
I always like to shout out all the commenters. So let me just run through it.
Shout it out.
We got a shout out to Ash Scutches. We like him. He's a friend. Clearly Clever. Colson __. William Smith.
If you did it any slower, you'd be reading it backwards. You'd be reading it backwards.
So thank you all for tuning in, commenting. We really appreciate you.
But we'll be back. We'll be back soon. But you have to subscribe to find out. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Make sure you get it. All right.
Get it.
Talk to you.
Peace.